Hello everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to a special review and unboxing for the brand new third solo album from Pearl Jam frontman Eddie Vedder called Earthling. So this just came out on Friday, February 11th of 2022, and we're going to dive into all of this in just a bit. But before we do, if you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please click the button. Also leave a comment, hit like, all those things help support my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, as an added bonus, by subscribing, you'll be able to stay up to date on all that's going on in the world of music, just like this, with a review and unboxing for the brand new Eddie Vedder Earthling album. So a little bit of background here to set the context. Of course, he's best known as the iconic frontman for grunge band Pearl Jam. And of course, their debut album, 10, it's one of the biggest albums of the era, selling over 13 million copies just in the US alone. The band has released a total of 11 studio albums throughout its 32-year career. Over those years, though, Eddie has contributed numerous songs to solo soundtracks as well. Dead Man Walking in 1995, I Am Sam in 2001, and Eat, Pray, Love in 2010. Outside of Pearl Jam, Eddie has released two previous solo albums. Into the Wild in 2007. This one was a soundtrack to the movie of the same name, and then Ukulele Songs in 2011, featuring, of course, the ukulele as the dominant instrument throughout on all of the songs. Both of the solo albums, though, are outside of his style from Pearl Jam, but of course, with Eddie's unique, prominent vocals throughout, it does feel recognizable. And now, 11 years later, we get his next solo album, Earthling, and so we're going to talk about this one now, being the third solo album, featuring 13 tracks. It is 48 minutes long. It's produced by Andrew Watt, who of course is most notable now in the rock world for having produced the last Ozzy Osbourne album, but he's also worked with Miley Cyrus and Post Malone, so really showing the diversity that this producer can do with different artists and so forth. And while this is a solo album, the band supporting Eddie is consistent throughout. It features Andrew Watt on guitar and bass, so interesting to have him playing on this. Josh Klinghoffer on guitar, former Red Hot Chili Pepper guitarist, and Chad Smith on drums, current Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer. So in one respect, you've got half of the Chili Peppers on this album. In addition to the three backing musicians, they also co-write the songs with Eddie on the album, giving this a more consistent feel throughout, in my opinion. But there's also numerous special guests on the album. We've got Elton John, Ringo Starr, Stevie Wonder, and Benmont Tench from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers on here. So a lot of cool star-studded power. Of course, Eddie can command that. The overall sound of the album itself is what we've come to know from Eddie through his work with Pearl Jam and the soundtrack recordings, and of course his trademark vocals are throughout this album here. But Eddie also infuses the album with influences and sounds as well, such as opening track Invincible. This one here has a real U2 sort of feel about it. I could easily hear Bono's vocals on this in place of Eddie's. Track number 3, Long Way, feels like it's heavily influenced by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. In fact, Benmont Tench even plays on it, but that's not the real reason why it sounds that way. When you give it a listen, it's really for the style and feel that Tom Petty would sing in and write in. Still, there's plenty of moments on the album itself that are throwbacks to Pearl Jam and its sound, but the album as a whole feels like something new from Eddie, that he's not just retreading his past. So let's talk about a few of the standout tracks on here now. Track number 2, which is called Power of Right, which was the initial track on here that was my favorite track, that really kind of jumped out at me when I first heard it. It's full of heavy riffs, and it's sort of like a modern take on something that would have appeared on Pearl Jam's Versus album. Track number 6, The Dark. This one here is a mid-paced rocker that has a fun, upbeat vibe to it, which is now currently my favorite track on the album. Track number 8, Good and Evil, is another heavy rocker with a grinding pace to it and a real sort of dirty, grungy style sound throughout it. And then track number 9, Rose of Jericho, another great one. For this rocker here, though, it's got a slightly offbeat groove to it, making for a very interesting feel. And in particular, Chad Smith's drumming really stands out on this one. So let's take a peek at this. This is the front cover. And there's the back side of it. We got the track listing up here. Cool shot of Eddie there. And when we open this, we start to see track listing and who's on it, but another shot of Eddie there and another good one on the inside. So now, while there is no booklet for this, we actually still get 4 shots of Eddie throughout this thing, which is kind of nice. Now the CD itself is over here in this part, so as the digipack, the holder, kind of typical to that way. But this is the most interesting aspect. This is where it actually breaks down who writes and who plays on all of the songs, where I got all that great info about the core band and the guests and things of that nature. My only complaint though is that with his last 2 solo records being in these, what they call the E-style book, I would really have liked if this had also been that, to have kept up with that style. But aside from that, this album here is a very solid effort. Should be given the same attention as a Pearl Jam album, in my opinion. It's different enough to stand on its own, showing all the influences that Eddie brings to Pearl Jam, while also being different enough to stand on its own. In a perfect world, this album here would be popular in today's modern landscape, but for now, this album will just have to remain as a tide over until the next Pearl Jam album, but I do highly recommend it. All right, so there you go. That is the review and unboxing for the brand new Eddie Vedder Earthling album. For related videos, I'm going to leave a link in the description to some other Pearl Jam related things that I've done, in particular a review of Gigaton. I've also done a review for the 10 box set and the Versus and Vitalogy box set. So all of those are links in the description if you're interested, and certainly consider sharing this video out on social media. I would greatly appreciate that. All right, everyone, take care. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye-bye, everyone.